The stock which is on our radar. Last week, the stock was higher in trade after the company has set new records during the Independence Day weekend. Revenue from wine tourism rose to an all-time high level during the extended weekend of 12th to 14th of August. Revenues over those 3 days touched more than 2 crore, which is 40% higher than the previous 3-day record of 1.47 crore. The company also saw the highest number of individual tastings at more than 4,700. To discuss the way forward, how volumes are likely to pan out, we're joined by Rajeev Samant, the MD and CEO of Sula Vineyards. Rajeev, morning, and thank you very much for joining in. This is Rima here. Very strong momentum seen in the wine tourism business. If you could tell us it's likely to continue, what is the kind of advance booking that you have for the future long weekends, the holiday season, whether it's Ganpati, Diwali, Navratri, and you also have some capex planned, a new tasting room. What's the overall capex amount? Which state is it likely to come in, and when could it open?
So first, I must say that we are incredibly excited about the weekend that just happened. Frankly, even we were not expecting the kind of numbers of visitors, the kinds of tastings. Clearly, there's a lot of interest from a lot of people to visit vineyards. It's something that's on people's bucket list these days. And you never had the opportunity before in India to visit your own beautiful vineyards right here. We have more and more direct flights coming in, and all of this is paying off handsomely. In terms of capex, in terms of new hotel rooms, we've added around 50% more hotel rooms just in the last 6 months. So we used to be at about 67, and now we've gone to 100 rooms that are available in the vicinity of our vineyards. That allows us to welcome a lot more visitors. As usual, as you always say on this program, weekends are getting booked up well in advance, and we're so happy to welcome more and more people to our vineyards. We keep expanding so that anytime a person comes, even after a year, you find more things to do. It's very exciting.
So your capex from 100 rooms, do you have plans to add more, or in any other state, do you have plans to open another resort? And coming back to the advance booking, any indication?
So these 100 rooms are all at Nasik. And I think that we're going to pause now in Nasik because it's already quite a lot to handle. Plus, you have so many more resorts, Airbnbs, etc., opening up in our area. So we are also, obviously, whenever somebody books into one of those, they come and taste wine and drink wine at our place. So we anyway get, we get their visit, we get their revenue. So now we're going to be concentrating more on our vineyard outside Bangalore. That's seen a huge jump. If our overall numbers were up 40%, Bangalore actually saw something like a 75% jump in visitors from a year ago. So that's where we're going to be looking at. We don't have any rooms there right now. That's our next project.
Rajeev, I remember many years ago, I think it was almost a decade ago, when much before I think Sula was even listed, remember meeting you. You saw it ahead of the curve, right? This aspirational Indian middle class who wants to experience new things. And I think the numbers are now really speaking up a decade later. So just tell us this, in terms of the revenue mix, what is the percentage between wine tourism, which is the in-house stay part of it, and actual retail sales, which would be happening away from the vineyards? What's the mix now, and where do you see it heading, say, in the next 1 to 2 years?
So this year, we sort of set ourselves an internal target of 100 crores in wine tourism revenue. Now, let's understand, this is not what you're going to see on our profit and loss statement, because that shows the wine that we sell at our own facilities in our wine revenues. But when you take the whole thing together, that is rooms, F&B, wine, we're looking at close to 100 crores. Our overall revenue this year is going to be in the range of around 600 crores. So around 1/6 is coming from there, and that's a huge, it's a very profitable business for us. Obviously, we don't pay their trade margins, distributor, retail margins. We're selling direct to customers, so it's a D2C business. So that gives you a bit of a snapshot.
So 600 crores of total top line, 100 crores coming in from wine tourism, but that includes the F&B, the stay, as well as the wine sales that are happening at the vineyard.
That is correct.
Okay, got that.
Okay, Rajeev, thanks for joining us. Considering that this part is seeing so much interest that, we're all sitting and Googling when the next long weekend is, all of that. How much do you expect this mix to really change? How much do you think, this kind of resort sales will really go up, and what will the mix look like, say, 5 years from now?
So I must confess that I haven't looked out 5 years. I know that we have a job ahead of us. We have a lot of potential in our Bangalore site. That's just, with the new Bangalore-Mysuru expressway. It's basically 2 hours from anywhere in Bangalore city. And it's barely touched in terms of rooms, etc. So I do expect that wine tourism should at least keep pace with our overall revenue growth, if not grow even further.
You said the Bangalore Vineyard is seeing a lot of interest. I think the footfalls were up 75% in that long weekend. But you don't have any rooms there. Do you have plans to add rooms there? What's the, the outlook for the Bangalore Vineyard?
Absolutely. So we have some land there. We have some vineyards which we had to uproot recently. Fantastic land for a little resort. We've got beautiful hills around, great natural scenery. It's a very different kind of scenery than what we have at Nasik. It's more in a valley with hills all around, but still quite dramatic. So I do see a resort coming up in the not so distant future.
How many years in the future? When are you going to break ground?
Probably not for another 6 months or so. So a little bit further out.
So Rima, you have to wait. Just hold the plans. I think it's going to take a while. Okay,
Let's bring you over to Nasik first. We've been talking about it.
You know what, Rajeev? It's impossible to get bookings. So I love that area. I've been there personally in a lot of the vineyards around you. But business is so good at Sula that it's almost impossible to get a booking. And again, the numbers are testament to that. So
that's why we have 35 new rooms. We're waiting to welcome you all.
Fantastic. Okay, so we've been talking about all happy things, but I must bring up the excise issue as well, because I think that's something that the market has taken note of as well. It's a big demand. It's 115 crores. And I think this is a case that goes back at the litigation involves the source of grapes, whether, wine is being produced through grapes, produced in Maharashtra or beyond. Where do things stand? And this could be a potential big hit, right? Because the amount is 115 crores.
I am very optimistic. I believe that there has been some amount of miscommunication in the past. You will note that within a day of receiving this order, we approached the High Court and we got a stay against this, against the vacating of the earlier stay. I do believe in working with government, we can find an amicable solution that sticks to the original Maharashtra government plan, which was that if you grow the grapes in Maharashtra and produce the wine in Maharashtra, then you get an excise duty when you sell in Maharashtra. That is all that we have done. We have no grapes from outside, and I think this will be sorted out amicably. So I don't believe that there's a big hit ahead of us.
What's the next legal step now? You've managed to get a stay on the order, but what is next?
So the matter will have to be heard within the next 3 or 4 months. And we're already working towards getting the matter heard. And we hope it will be settled in a mutually agreeable, positive way.
Is there a possibility that there will be some settlement involved? You may not pay the entire 115, but it may not be zero. Is that an option? A settlement?
I think I would be jumping the gun a little bit in talking about, what could happen. But I'm very hopeful. I think I would just, I would say that.
Okay. All right, Rajeev, we'll track that development along with, of course, all the wine sales that are happening. Good speaking with you today. Thank you very much for joining in. Well, with that, we have to take a very quick break.